followed God to the Bronx in 2008, not knowing why he brought us here or what he had in store for us. We moved into a house on Beekman Avenue, and our neighbors warmly welcomed us. We made fast friends, eating dinner together, swapping family recipes, and spending hours on the stoop, sharing about our very different life experiences. It's during that time that we learned just how stacked the deck was against our neighbors. The obstacles they faced weren't just from a lack of resources, but from an entire system.
In our neighborhood, this system includes failing public schools, inadequate healthcare, an unjust criminal justice system, and dismal housing. These conditions create a cycle that makes it extremely difficult for anyone here to pursue the passions that have been put inside of us, to become the people that God created us to be.
5 years ago, in 2012, I showed up at an abandoned church and met Sarah, Sloan, and 3 other pregnant women. We didn't have everything in common, and none of us had all the answers, but we were all determined to do whatever we needed to do to see the next generation reach their full potential.
From that founding day, 5 years ago, we started developing a seamless series of programs to surround our community with. And we've been growing with our neighbors for over 5 years. Babies who weren't even born yet are now in kindergarten and going to our after-school programs. And students who came to us as first graders will soon be moving to middle school. We occupy 3 commercial spaces, serve 200 families annually, and we've invested over $3 million in our neighbors.
We've seen incredible transformations in both children's and families' lives. But we know that relief for a handful of our neighbors is only the beginning of the system-wide overhaul that's needed.
We believe that God is not just interested in changing a few lives, but in the renewal of our whole neighborhood.
Right now, we're serving about 6% of families in the neighborhood. But can we give everyone in the neighborhood, not just 6%, not even 12%, but anyone who wants it, the opportunity to be who they were made to be? We think we can. There are tipping points in communities. What happens when enough small things change that it prompts a larger shift in the place's culture? We know from research that if only 12 to 15% of our community can be transformed, then natural, systemic change becomes exponentially easier.
In our first 5 years, we've done so much with your help, but we're not there yet. We're going to keep working by going deeper, wider, and longer.
In the next 5 years, we want to make what we do deeper. Continue to figure out ways to do what we do better, more effectively and more impactful, by investing in and developing the best staff and volunteers, partnering further with local leaders, and giving our students more opportunities to grow and learn.
Second, we want to make what we do wider, working towards tripling the capacity in our current programs by growing our staff, volunteers, and space in order to serve more children and reach that tipping point.
Last, we need to make what House on Beekman does longer. Me and my friends are going into middle school next year, and we really need House on Beekman support to follow us through middle school, high school, and beyond.
We believe that we are well on our way to seeing our community flourish in a way that most people have long counted as impossible. We see these kids entering one of the most important times in their lives, when they'll be making decisions that have a huge impact on who they become. We want to be there for them through that, because we know that there is rich potential in the next generation of the South Bronx. Whether you've been with us for these last 5 years, or you're just now joining us, thank you. We invite you to continue the journey for the next 5 years as we join God in the renewal of the South Bronx.